It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you, and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, an elementary matchup between two outstanding schools. Let's meet the competitors now. First, from James McHenry Elementary, would you please say hello to Kiana Reed, Hope Opia, and Brandy Craddock. And from Magnolia Elementary, please welcome Kristen Beecham, Madison Maragliano, and Cortez Logan. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, and the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25. Toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties for incorrect answers. Into the 2 rounds, the winning school will come back to play Yorktown for the chance to move on to the semifinals. So we have a lot at stake. First of all, congratulations to all of you for being chosen by your schools to be ambassadors to be here today. You're already winners in our eyes, so just good to have you here. Let's check our equipment. Would you try your buzzer, Hope, please? Thank you. Good luck to you, to Brandy, and to Kiana. And the green team, Madison, would you try yours? Thank you. Good luck to you, and to Cortez, and to Kristen. Are we ready to play? Yeah. Let's do this. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically, J before M. So James McHenry and Hope, would you start the game? Give me a category and a number. Yes, ma'am.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, Achilles wasn't known for kicking up these rear parts of his foot because, James McHenry?
Heel.
His heel, that's right. He was not kicking up his heels because that's where his weakness was. Go again. Red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, when Horton heard that hoof, that was that speck on the flower, that speck might have been what kind of reproductive grain? Magnolia.
A spore?
Judges. Yes, indeed. We will accept that. A spore or a pollen grain. Yes, indeed. Go. Green.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, the great scientist Charles Darwin always wondered about these mollusks that lived on oceanic islands because they can be so easily killed, as we know, with salt. Magnolia.
Snails?
Snails, that's right. Oceanic snails. How did they get there? How did they not get all dried out on the journey? Green.
Oh. 20. Body systems. 15. Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, people who are diabetic or are heavy smokers often have a pallid complexion. That is evidence of what kind of impaired body system? What body system is not working properly? Magnolia.
The skin?
Body system, not your skin. No, I'm thinking of a body system. What body system is impaired oftentimes in people who are diabetic or are heavy smokers? They have a very pallid complexion as a result.
Respiratory.
Good try. Circulation. Circulation. The blood does not circulate as well, so you don't have that nice rosy look anymore. Go green, please. Again, Magnolia.
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. These modern-day reptiles, millions of years ago, now the fossil record reveals they were so big that they could actually eat dinosaurs. All right, Magnolia. What do you think, Madison?
Lizards?
Not lizards, no. James McHenry, what modern-day reptiles millions of years ago were so big that we think they ate dinosaurs?
Crocodile?
Crocodiles, absolutely right. There is this wonderful painting of a crocodile jumping out and grabbing a T-Rex. Imagine the size of that croc. 75-75. We have a tie score. Red advantage. Go, Hope.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, this winter, the Maryland Highway Department, when they spread the salt on the road, they're going to take sugar beets and they're going to use that to produce what kind of very thick, sticky syrup that we associate with slowness to keep the salt on the road, Magnolia?
Molasses?
Molasses, as slow as molasses. That's right. Good answer. Good. Thank you, Cortez, for your help. Go, Green.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, in a science lab, there's a piece of equipment called the autoclave. You put your laboratory equipment in there. The heat is very high and it kills all the germs. What S-initialed word describes a piece of equipment where all the germs are gone? James McHenry?
Sanitize.
Sanitize. Judges? Not quite. Not quite. Good try, Magnolia. An S-initialed word that means all the germs are gone.
Sterile?
Sterile, that's right, yeah. Something is sanitized is not necessarily sterile, but we appreciate that effort. 75-90, Madison, advantage yours.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, a math question, a math answer, listen carefully. Hammerhead sharks can see all around because their eyes are at the ends of stalks. They can see stereoscopically, they can see in depth, they can see how many degrees if they can see all the way around, Hope?
360.
You've got it, 360, nice answer, good, go, Hope.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, some farmers are being paid not to cut down the trees on their property so they can build up a credit of what C-initialed chemical element that we're so concerned about here on this earth because of the footprints we leave. Magnolia?
Carbon?
Carbon footprints, that's right. You get a carbon credit for leaving the trees as they are. They are carbon dioxide sinks, if you will. All right, green again.
Which one? Body systems for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, there is a chemical in your body called oxytocin that lets you feel empathy and sympathy and trust for other people. It also helps lactating women produce milk. Because of its functions, that kind of chemical is what kind of H-initialed chemical in our bodies. Magnolia? Yes, ma'am.
Hydrogen? Hydrogen?
Not hydrogen, no. James McHenry, what kind of H-initialed chemical is oxytocin? Because it helps us to feel trust and empathy for other people. Also helps lactating women. What kind of H-initialed chemical would that be? Yes, ma'am. Correct answer is hormone. Hormone was the right answer. All right, the buzzer has rung. That means we've come to the end of the first round. A good game. James McHenry, 90. Magnolia just ahead at 125. We'll be back with round two in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. We hope you're able to keep up with our 6 excellent players here today. Let's find out about them. Let's go first to James McHenry. 3 attractive young ladies all wearing similar yellow jerseys over there. Hope, tell us about your school. Where's it located?
It's located in Lanham.
Lanham, Maryland. And who's your principal?
Miss Jane Handelsman.
Yes, and Miss Handelsman has been there for many years. I know she's a big supporter of Science Bowl, and we always love having you guys come back. And Miss Katz, of course, is your sponsor. Equally wonderful supporter of our game, and we love having her. Did you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, we have one, Ansu.
And we'll bring Ansu out in just a little while so you can meet Ansu. Hope, tell us about James McHenry. What's the favorite thing you like to brag about when you tell people about your school?
That we're nice there.
It's a nice school. Yeah, nice is a good term, isn't it? You know, you don't want any stress when you go to school, no drama. You just want caring adults and having your best interests at heart. Tell us about yourself, Hope. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to draw or write or watch TV, go on the computer,
yeah,
kid stuff.
You seem like you're really into a lot of things. You have a good, healthy curiosity over there. What do you want to do when you get older?
I want to be a pediatrician or a designer.
Or a designer. Stylish young lady there. Brandy, nice to have you with us. Tell us about yourself. What do you hope to do someday?
I hope to be a writer, and if that doesn't work, then I can be a singer.
A singer? Do you sing now?
Yes.
Yeah. Where do you sing?
I sing at the chorus at our school and at choir at church.
That's wonderful. That's a great talent that you have there. And Kiana, nice to have you here. You want to go to an Ivy League school someday and then want to get into medicine or law, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have a particular Ivy League school? Do you want to go to Harvard or Yale or Pennsylvania or Princeton?
Harvard.
Harvard.
Penn State.
All right. Always aim high. What do you do in your spare time, Kiana?
Watch TV, read, talk on the phone, go on the computer, stuff like that.
Normal kid stuff, right? You're doing real well. Nice to have you with us today. Magnolia, nice to have you guys here. Also in matching yellow jerseys over there. You all got the memo. I didn't today. Well, I got a yellow tie. I kind of match with you. Madison, tell us about Magnolia. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Miss Phyllis Gillens.
Yes, and I know she's out there rooting for you. And your sponsor is Mr. Robert Allen, and he is really rooting for you. He's just a first-class guy. And Brandy, you should hear Mr. Allen sing. He's got a wonderful voice. He really does. Madison, tell us what's really neat about Magnolia.
Well, what's really neat about our school is that, well, our school, we always try to reach the highest goal possible, and we always have fun there.
Yeah. Oh, having fun. Isn't that important? Yeah. If you're not having fun, it's really hard for anything else to happen that it really makes any kind of significant impact on your life. Did you have any alternates on your team?
Yes, we did. We have two. We have Asiatsu and Kevin.
Wonderful. We'll meet them in a little while. And Madison, before I leave you, I know you are a soccer player. You'd like to play professionally someday, but you also have other goals.
I would also like to be a doctor and a lawyer.
And a lawyer. Well, you're a great captain, and I like how you're playing the game. You keep it up. Cortez, nice to have you here. You've been a real asset this first round, too. And this young man has aspirations to go into space someday, or certainly work with the space agency. Isn't that right, Cortez?
Yes.
Tell us the name of your, if you could, what planet would you travel to?
Mars. Probably Mars if by the time I'm old enough to go into space that they haven't already been there.
Isn't that interesting? I know former President Bush said we were going to go to Mars and go back to the moon. Let's hope all that is in place and you'll have the opportunity to do that. You must be a good math student too, Cortez.
Yes.
Yeah, because math and good science skills and writing skills, all that goes together. Hope to see you in space someday. And Kristen, nice to have you here. Young lady who is a beauty pageant winner. You were Miss Greenbelt?
Little Miss.
Little Miss Greenbelt. And what did you have to do to win that title?
Well, I had to talk to the judges and kind of get to know them and have them like me and stuff, you know. And I get along with a lot of people.
I can tell you're very easy to get along with. You have a wonderful personality, and I know you like to ride horses, and you'd like to go to Florida someday to go to school. And what do you hope to do someday?
Well, I hope to be a teacher, a horse training instructor, a vet, or a doctor.
Lots of options out there. Okay, nice to have you on our game. Let's get back to it. James McHenry at 90, Magnolia 125. Last correct answer came to the green team. So Madison, where to?
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, here's a question for you. Why is it not possible for plants to go on a low-carb diet? Why can't that happen, Hope?
Because they need sugar to make food.
Yes, indeed. That's all they make. They only make sugar. There is no other option. That's the only thing on the menu. Good answer. Okay, go red. Yes, ma'am.
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. All right, this is kind of a disgusting question, but bear with me. We all know that owls regurgitate some of the inedible things that they've eaten. They spit up owl pellets, and that shows you what they have eaten. So now paleontologists are out there looking for maybe what some sick dinosaur left behind that is fossilized today. They're out there looking for fossilized what? Magnolia.
Fossilized vomit.
Fossilized vomit?
Fossilized vomit, absolutely right. Just say it. Spit up. You got it. That's what they're looking for. We don't know that it exists, but it would be fascinating to find because it could reveal some of the dietary preferences of dinosaurs. Okay, 135, 110, Magnolia, your choice.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25. Big one in this category, teams. After the auto accident in Florida, golfer Tiger Woods suffered lacerations but no fractures. For 25 points, tell me what that means. What does that mean? Magnolia.
Cortez will answer.
Yes, Cortez?
Lacerations are cuts, and fractures will be bones breaking.
Absolutely right. He had cuts but no broken bones. Nicely parsed. Go green.
Dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, it's been discovered that mice have antibodies against tick saliva proteins, meaning they can't get the disease that we do when we're bitten by ticks. What disease is that, Magnolia?
Lyme disease. Lyme disease?
Lyme disease, absolutely right. L-Y-M-E, named for Lyme, Connecticut, where it was first discovered. All right. Okay, James McHenry, let's jump back in here. Don't let them get too far ahead. Go green.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points. Teams at Walter Reed Hospital here in Washington, many Iraq and Afghan war vets are there because they have lost limbs. They have been given new artificial limbs that are known as what? What are those artificial limbs known as? Come on, 25 points is yours. James McHenry, if you can tell us.
Replicas?
Not replicas. Good try, good try. Magnolia, what are these artificial limbs known as?
Prosthetics.
Prosthetics, absolutely right. Prostheses is what they got. Good, good comeback, go green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, recently, NASA's Cassini spacecraft took photos of Enceladus, one of the 18 moons surrounding this planet, the last one that you can see with an unaided eye. What planet is that? The last one you can see without a telescope, Madison.
Mars?
Not Mars, good try. James McHenry. Enceladus took pictures of the moon, one of 18 of this planet, the last one you can see with the unaided eye.
Jupiter?
The one beyond that. Saturn. Saturn you can see with the unaided eye. Go green.
Jupiter.
That's all right.
For 25.
Zooparade for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, it made the national news. A little 9-year-old girl from Annandale, she found a dinosaur fossil in Laurel, Maryland. It was what part of the backbone of a carnivorous predator? Magnolia.
Tail?
Not a tail, no. James McHenry, what bone, part of the backbone of a carnivorous predator, did this little girl find at Dinosaur Park in Laurel? It was a real dinosaur fossil. Again, tell me what the name of that bone is.
Spinal cord?
Not quite. Vertebrae, a vertebra, or vertebrae, because the vertebral column back there. That's what we were looking for. Good try. Again, green. You still have the lead.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Teams, there are some pictures with this question. If you look on your pictures, you'll see a very big plant. It's a huge plant. It lives in Indonesia, and it bloomed in that picture in New York City over 100 years ago. It hardly ever blooms, and it smells when it blooms like rotten meat. I'll give you 25 points if you can tell me what it's trying to attract with that smell, and for what reason. Two-part question, Magnolia.
Scavengers?
Why?
Because they eat the remains of it?
Nope. Nope. James McHenry, you have a golden opportunity here. You can get 25 points if you can tell me that big plant that grows in Indonesia doesn't bloom very often, but when it does, it smells like rotten meat. It does that for a reason. It's trying to attract what? To do what?
Bugs. To get them.
What do you think, Hope?
Is attracting bugs to eat them?
Ooh, good try. It is trying to attract bugs, flies, but it's trying to attract them so that it will pollinate it. It's like bees going to a flower. The attractant here isn't nectar and nice colors, but smelly meat-like odors. All right, good try. Again, please, green.
Oh, green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, the minority leader in the House of Representatives said of the recent piece of legislation, that's about as tasty as ice cream made from that strong, scented, pungent bulb. What's that stuff that gives you very bad breath? Magnolia.
Onions?
Not onions, good try. James McHenry, what strong-smelling, pungent bulb is the kind of ice cream that this legislator was describing?
Garlic.
Garlic. Garlic ice cream. That's about as palatable as garlic ice cream, he said. Absolutely right. Good. Go red.
Let's get physical for 25.
Get physical for 25 points. Teams, scientists use 2 chemical elements, argon and krypton, in order to do something called geochronology. They're trying, through radioactive decay, to find out how old what's are. They're trying to find out the age of what's. James McHenry.
Trees.
Not trees, good try. Geochronology. chronology. Scientists are using argon and potassium in order, through radioactive decay, to find out the age of these.
Rocks.
Rocks it is, absolutely right. You were thinking dendrochronology, which is the tree rings. Geo was the key word there, and Cortez, you picked it out. Good, green.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, we all know that Benjamin Franklin invented a stove and bifocals. He even invented a catheter. He also invented this device that we have on the dashboard of an automobile that lets you know how far you've gone in miles. What's that thing called, Magnolia?
Odometer.
An odometer, absolutely right. Ben Franklin invented the first odometer. Go green.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, over in Switzerland, there's something called the Hadron Giant Collider. And just recently, they put the smallest of particles on Earth inside. They sped them up at the speed of light, and they crashed them into each other. What are these smallest particles called? Itty bitty what's, Madison?
Atoms.
Atoms, that's right. It was an atom smasher. Go green.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, in Disney's newest animated movie, the princess turns into one of these amphibians. James McHenry. A frog, that's right, the princess and the frog. Boy, does she get a surprise. She kisses the frog, and she turns into one, too. So there goes the prince. Go red.
Body systems for 10.
Body assistance for 10 points. Look at the picture that we have for this question, if you would. This young boy has on goggles. They're a little big for him, but they're doing the job. This is a multiple choice question. Which of the following eye parts is he most immediately protecting his eyes with those goggles? Is it the cornea, the retina, or the lens that he is most immediately protecting, Magnolia?
Cornea.
Cornea, that's right, the outermost layer of the eye. Good. Red again. Or, excuse me, green.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Some chefs now have a recipe out for duck breast that before you cook it, you put it on frozen carbon dioxide. What's that known as? What is frozen carbon dioxide known as?
Dry
ice. You got that right, Hope. Good. Go.
Dayline science for 10.
Dayline science for 10 points. Teams, get this. The U.S. government says, let's take the radar out of airplanes, and instead we're going to give planes the same thing that we have in our cars to help us find addresses. Hope?
GPA.
Again?
GPS.
The GPS, that's right. Global Positioning Satellite. That is exactly right. Oh, the buzzer is rung. We almost cleared the board. We'll be back with a wrap-up and tell you who won in just a moment. And welcome back. We hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. All 6 of our players did splendidly today. We are proud of all of them. What great students they are. Our final tally today is James McHenry, 145. Magnolia, 280. Some smiles over there for good reason. Cortez and Madison and Kristen, congratulations. And back there, the 2 alternates, Kevin and Asiato, and the very proud Mr. Allen. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, James McHenry. I loved having you guys here today. You were so well prepared. Brandy and Hope and Kiana, I hope you'll come back and play our game again. Ansu, nice to have you with us today. And Miss Katz, always good to have you as part of our competition, and always good to have you part of our audience. We'll see you next time on Science Bowl. Bye now.